Bringing up someone's post history to win an argument is just you admitting that you forfeit the argument. It's in the title. If you're having an argument with someone and bring up their post history, you're basically admitting that you lost. Because why else would you bring up their post history? Like, for example, say you're having an argument with Billybob72 over whether or not Beetlejuice is a real star. You say it isn't, and Billybob72 says it is. So, you look it up, and learn that Beetlejuice is a real star. Not wanting to admit you're wrong, you look at Billybob72's post history. Then, you link to something he posted 6 years ago and call him a hypocrite over something not even related to the current argument. See? It's just fucking stupid. Swallow your pride and admit I'm wrong. It's not difficult. It can be relevant sometimes. Like if you're arguing Tiananmen Square did happen, they're arguing it didn't, and then you look in their post history and see all their content is pro-China stuff on r/Sino. It's not going to change their point of view, but it will alert readers that the other person may be biased. Post history is relevant sometimes though. I've been upvoted and got other people downvoted by claiming to be an amputee, a Jew, American, black, to help give my point credibility, all in the past few days. Sometimes you have to call people's bullshit. Reddit is full of it. I've gotten into lots of Reddit arguments and almost never even thought to go through someone's post history. One time I was arguing why communism was bad with a communist and he flat out doxed me. I mean, my identity isn't much of a secret. I link my Instagram, SoundCloud, and Twitter in my Reddit bio, but I'm still trying to figure out how he got my birthday, full name, and my place of work. People have too much time on their hands. It's 50-50ths. A lot of time their post history shows they are lying about themselves or their opinion isn't exactly what they say. Tons of times on this sub a guy will post a vague status that sort of hates women or something like that and they get called out saying it isn't about hating women. You then look at their post history and see they post women hate constantly. Also, looking at their post history makes it pretty easy to tell if they are a troll or not. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as people who call on that stupid N-word bot when they are disagreeing with someone because they think that person must be some huge racist. Insert array of insults. No. You'll find someone arguing the Holocaust isn't real and they have a post history of blatant pro-Nazi comment. Best believe I'm letting everyone know. I take pride in my opinions and I had someone go through my post history before for something I don't even remember now. They said I'm transparent as shit, and now that's my profile description. I think it's strange how often folks on this subreddit talk about winning a Reddit argument as if it's a formal debate. There is no winning here, folks. We are all losers for participating in these asinine arguments in the first place. This brings up the principal reason that makes me believe all social media extremizes people. There are so many arguments and so few conclusive agreements that people just push off of each other as opposed to helping each other grow. I think part of it stems from the fact that there is no way to gauge the credibility of someone based on a written reply to a statement. There is no way of knowing if that person should be trusted, or if they are qualified to say things, and so you assume that they aren't worth the time of day. Because of that, we are reinforcing ideas and concepts that aren't always the best. In person, this would happen less because people who are more eloquent or educated usually end up carrying the day. That just can't happen on social media. You went to Ask Ouija subreddit, your opinion isn't valid. Please don't bash me because of my post history. Hurr you post on insert sub here so all of your opinions must be invalid. 11. Or if you run to another subreddit to get your views validated. I'm a black man who holds some views not mainstream in the black community, and redditors are compelled to run to /r/blackman to try to invalidate my argument. Look, he's not the type of black that I have in my head. People look for any excuse to put the other person down and invalidate them. I think it says more about the digger. Ever since social media became a thing, I have thought extremely lowly of people that spend their time digging through people's history looking for dirt. You've already seen people in this thread justify it by thinking they are some sort of do-gooder for catching Nazis and incels, but the reality is that it's most commonly used to slander normal-ass people who said something years ago that they might not even believe now, or was taken completely out of context. No matter how people defend it, it's a logical fallacy at best. If someone gives their opinion on their favorite hamburger, and you go digging in their history just to find something completely off topic to use to discredit them instead of just talking about hamburgers, sure, invalidating someone's argument because of their personal characteristics is a classic ad hominem argument and doesn't stand as a real, valuable argument. Unlike what others seem to be saying here, it's actually never relevant to the current discussion. It's just a way butthurt Redditors try to avoid having a legitimate, real discussion of whatever's at hand. If there was a past statement that seemed contradictory on the one commenter's part, it should be brought to attention and addressed in the present. Whereas most of the time when you see others dredge through past comments, they don't do anything to really address the past incident. I'll add that this behavior also occurs offline, and is similarly inappropriate. If you remember some incident about someone that long ago offended you, well, bringing it up in the present for no other reason but to mount an offensive is really, really bad form and a quick way to alienate people. There's a time and a place for that. I have come to actually appreciate that such people exist, however, not because they contribute anything meaningful to the discussion, but that they're evidence of the poor discussion quality and intolerance of the so-called hive mind of Reddit. Often they're just jealous or bitter people. E.g., recently I made a post here saying it's completely unnecessary to masturbate more than once a day, and I mentioned that I have high testosterone, to indicate that even with a relatively high sex drive, my post still holds. Got one or two commenters that wanted to debate this fact, which I only knew about because I had my blood tested recently. Ultimately, those people responding were just jealous, I suppose. I checked their histories afterwards, and that makes the most sense. In that regard, checking histories can be useful as it helps you avoid commenters who don't want to have a reasonable discussion, so that you can avoid talking to them and wasting your own time. That offers its own kind of closure.